Hello everyone. Before we get started, if you enjoy this video, please give it a like and share. Also, if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It really helps me out, because if you don't,
you're gonna have a terrible new year.
I was standing there outside of my motel as the man was just standing there looking at me. His eyes were wide. He was drooling from the mouth. And then I saw him slowly took out a long machete knife. My name is Charlie, and this happened to me about 3 weeks ago, so it's still fresh, and it's horrifying. I just didn't think people can actually be this evil and this scary, but I guess they can be. I was making my way back to Michigan. This came after I had finalized my divorce from my ex-wife. I was at a very low point in my life. My ex-wife cheated on me, and to make matters worse, the kid that I thought I was the father to was not even mine. It was the guy that she was sleeping with, and it hurted me really deeply. And once I filed for divorce, she took everything. The only thing I had was the money that was in my wallet, which was only about $300. I was super depressed. I don't understand how I got myself in this situation. I've done everything I could to make this woman happy. So once everything came out and I finalized the divorce, I just drove out of Texas. I didn't have family there. All my family lived in Michigan. There was no point in me staying there. I was driving home, that way I could figure things out. My parents told me I could stay with them until I get my stuff together and figure out what I'm gonna do and get my own place. As I was driving, heading to Michigan, that's when I encountered a really nasty storm. It was so bad to the point it got hard for me to drive. Luckily, there was a motel that was right there in front of me as I was driving. So without any thinking, I just pulled up and I went inside to get me a hotel. I used the money that I had with me, which was $300, to get me a one-night stay at that hotel. I paid for it, and then they gave me a card to enter into my room for the night. Once I got in there, I decided to go off to sleep. As I was sleeping, I think I was asleep for about an hour until I heard a loud bang on my door. I jolted awake, rubbing my eyes, trying to see if I was just half sleepy. I may have heard something. I looked around in the hotel room, and then I heard it again. I got up and walked towards the door, looked through the peephole, but I didn't see anything. I decided to open the door to look around. Once I stepped outside my motel and I turned to my right, I nearly almost yelped out in fright. There was a strange man. He was a tall, skinny guy that looked at homeless. He was dirty from head to toe. I couldn't see his face at first. His back was to me. And then he slowly turned around, and his eyes were wide open, looking at me. And then he let out this weird smile. It was so uncomfortable. It was like a sinister smile, like he was up to no good. And then as he stood there, drool was coming out of his mouth as he looked at me with his wide eyes and that big smile. And then he looked at me as he pulled out a long machete knife, and then he ran towards me with it, yelling. I don't know what he said, but he was just yelling. I quickly got inside my motel and I locked the door. The man kept on hitting the knife up against the door. I called the receptionist to let him know what was happening, and I think within about 3 or 4 minutes, there was 2 cop cars that came. The man was still hitting up against the door, and then eventually the cops came near my hotel suite and they were able to apprehend the guy and have him arrested. I saw as they were putting him in custody. I later learned that the man was homeless and had a lot of mental health issues. I'm glad that he was able to be put in custody, but that situation was really freaky, and had I not reacted fast enough, he probably most likely would have killed me. I was able to make it home in time, and after that, I pretty much just decided to let it alone. But the reason why I brought it back up was because that man had escaped from the mental health hospital. And so now I'm kind of on guard. Unfortunately, I believe that he'll never find me where I'm at. But I just hope that that man gets the help that he needs so he doesn't harm anyone else.